Got another project coming in today. 2001 RAV4. Doesn't start. Seems like it probably needs an ignition. So we'll get it dropped off and take a look at it once it's parked in the lot here. Alright, here's the first look at the new project car. 2001 Toyota RAV4. Thought it was all-wheel drive, but when I looked underneath to go check it out, there's no rear differential or anything, or no axles going to the rear, so not all-wheel drive. It's missing a fuel cap and a fuel door. It's got some nasty paint. Doesn't have the spare tire. Kind of dirty in here, but not too bad. The seats are actually in really good shape. Needs a little door handle there. This thing's been messed with by the previous person. And there's no ignition in it. So I'm going to put the battery from the Mercedes in. Just use a screwdriver, and this is basically where the ignition goes with the key. You just turn this back and forth to position 1, position 2, and start. So I'm going to put the battery in. Try to at least turn the car on, see what the dashboard says, because I don't know how many miles are on it. No radio. Let's look under the hood. And I'm trying to get that window to roll up. That's why I'm putting the battery in and seeing if that window works. If not, I'm gonna have to take that door panel apart and push it up manually. Also, you can see that mirror's broken on that side. It's got no windshield wipers, but at least they weren't running and scratching the glass. Probably do a headlight restoration. It's got some nasty paint chips. Or is that just dirt? Oh, maybe that's just dirt. That might come off. Cool. Alright, kind of rusty. Kind of got some leaves and rat poop in there. Oh yeah, wow, okay. Definitely had some rodents making nests in here, which could be an issue with wiring getting chewed and whatnot. But the battery goes in over there. It doesn't have a prop rod for the hood, it's missing. So I'm gonna go get a stick, prop it up, put the AGM battery in from the Mercedes, which is for sale on Facebook. Just waiting for people to come check it out. So let's put the battery in and see what happens. All right, I got that little battery cover off. Got the battery in. Obviously the terminals are pretty nasty. I'm gonna have to clean those. Maybe even take apart this little positive junction here and clean all the terminals in there. But it's a pretty juiced up battery. Got the wood propulator. So let's go in the car and see if we can get the ignition to even turn on. See what the dashboard says. Got the key. Put it in the slot. All right, got the dash to come on. Mileage 214, 427. Yikes. Should I try to start it up? Let's see if the starter works. No. All right. That might not work just because I don't have the Immobilizer key, so I'm not too familiar with these cars, but I definitely need to get a new ignition switch that'll come with the key with the transponder. Probably call a locksmith, have them match it to this antenna thing here, put everything back on there, and then try it again. But at least the dash turns on and I can see what the mileage was, because I had no idea before. Oh yeah, let's see if the window rolls up. So, power on, window Nothing here. Oh, nice. All right. Window's working. Cool. Won't get a bunch of rain in here. This one must just be broken. Oh, it rolls down. Oh, now it's working. Huh. That window works. The rear's up and down. Cool. All the windows work. I'm just gonna get online and order ignition switch, maybe see if I can get this door cover thing here, maybe even the plastics that go around that, just so it doesn't look like it's been all hacked through by somebody. And then I'm gonna start cleaning it up, vacuuming, cleaning up the seats, wiping things down. Oh yeah, I probably need to possibly get some tires. This one had a big chunk missing out of there. Check out these brake rotors though. The car's been sitting for 2 years. Those things are bad. So yeah, a bunch of little things, but I'm gonna see if I can get this puppy to work. Needs a new tire over here. This is just some crap one that they threw on, I guess. But paid $300 for the car, so not a bad deal if I can get the thing running and flip it for a couple thousand or something. So keep you posted. Got some plants growing in the car, but I opened the glove box. Got a spare mirror that's intact, so that's cool. So I'll just have to see how to pop that one out. I'm kind of afraid that those little tabs might be busted, but I'm gonna put that on and see what happens. It's also got some cool floor mats. Somebody was messing around back here with something, I don't know why. It's always a mystery what people are looking for and stuff. Okay, let's get that out of here before it starts growing roots and stuff. But what I'm trying to do right now is get this starter relay out, which is right here, starter relay. I went to pull that off and the whole cap just popped off, so that whole thing might be bad. There's a little clip right there that I need to push back so that I can pull this out. So I'm gonna get a little screwdriver and pop that out. And maybe try to just jumper the, what is it, usually like the 87 and the 30 or something like that. I gotta look it up. Just so I can see if that's bad and then see if I can start it. But I'm still kind of thinking that if you don't have that immobilizer key, that might prevent some stuff, so. But we'll find out. All right, I'm gonna attempt to close this relay with a wire. And if you look here at the top, you can see that 5 and 3 remain open until that contact is made, either by turning the key over or however it works. But basically if you close 5 and 3, so I'm gonna put a wire 5 and 3 and that'll close the circuit in the relay, so then I can see if the car will actually turn over and start. So let's try that out. All right, I got my little jumper lead, so I'm gonna connect those two and let's see if I don't electrocute myself like Marv in Home Alone. So let me put these down in there. All right, at least I'm not getting sparked and dying, so. All right, let me get that in there good off camera, then I'll get inside and turn. All right, I got my jumper wires in, pretty good. Let's go in here and see if it will actually turn over without that immobilizer key. Car's in park. 1, ignition's on, dash is on. Let's give it a shot. All right, cool. At least the starter works. So that we know that relay's bad. Cool. Let's just plug that relay in just in case. to verify that it's bad, because we know that now jumping it works. So let's plug the relay in, try to crank it again. Okay, the relay's back in. It's probably not going to start though, because when I tried pulling this out, looking, cover's busted. I don't see any broken things in there, but broken wires on any of those little closing circuits, but who knows. So let's go try to start it again, just to double verify. That way when we get our parts ordered, we can add that to the list. 1, position 2. All right, that relay is definitely bad. Well, guess what? I had some extra relays laying around from the Mercedes, and I had the same exact pin design, so I just plugged that in. I just checked if the starter works, and it does, so saved however $5 on a new relay. I was going to use this one, but the blades are too thick, but that black one slides in perfectly, so there you go. Saving some money already. All right, I'm in here in the car. I got the key, or the ignition turned on. I got my scan tool plugged in, because I want to see if I can get a new ignition tumbler with the keys with the chip in it, because I have the Immobilizer system on the car. And luckily it looks like my Autel might be able to register a new key. So if I get the new ignition tumbler with the keys with the codes in them, I can go here, transponder code registration, and I can use this function to register a new key code. So that's good news. I'm hoping that will work. I just need to get the ignition tumbler with the keys. So excited about that. The Autel might come in handy. So I'll let you know how that goes. All right, yesterday I cleaned it up a little bit, did a headlight polish. Didn't turn out great, but it's better than before, so I might go back over it with some 1500 grit sandpaper, some 3000 grit, and then polish it again with my pad, because I'd like them to get crystal clear, and they're still cloudy. But I cleaned off the hood a little bit, had a bunch of like mold spots growing on there. Today I'm gonna take out this mirror, which it has the replacement glass I found in the glove box. So I guess you just go like that, tilt it upwards, take a little pry tool and pop it off, and then just snap the new one in place. But I also cleaned up the interior yesterday, vacuumed all the carpets out, vacuumed the seats, wiped down the dash a little bit. I'm gonna work today on just cleaning up the paint. Got some duct tape on it, I don't know why. But yeah, vacuumed it out a little bit. It looks halfway decent now. The only issue I ran into after doing some research is that I can't make a new key on my Autel scan tool, even though that little box came up that said add a key. I have to have a master key in order to add another key. So I've been texting a locksmith here, waiting to hear back from him, but another locksmith that said he couldn't do it gave me a reference for a guy who said he could, but he said it'd be around $400 or $500. So I'm waiting to hear back from him. If it is that expensive, I found a service on eBay where you just send them your ECU and they will program 2 new keys for you for $99. So if the locksmith is too expensive, then yeah, I'm just gonna get the ECU out, which is behind the glove box here, probably under here somewhere. And then I might take off the door panel and get this lock code out, so that when I send that ECU in to the people on eBay, they can actually cut the keys to the door as well, so that'll be good. But the only issue is, once those keys are cut, I still need a new tumbler, and that's going to be different keys for that. So once I get those keys made, I might have to just tape one to this immobilizer here to disable the security system, and then when I get the new tumbler with the keys already cut for that, I'll just use those to start the car. So I'll have one key that opens the doors, one key that just stays glued to the immobilizer, and then my 2 new keys that come with the tumbler will start the car. Unless this tumbler that was already in the car is the same cut as the doors, which I don't think it will, but look how nice the carpet actually cleaned up back here. I also need to get a gas cap. Yeah, here's the tumbler and the key that came with the car. So if this tumbler isn't all jacked up, which it looked like it might be, because I know the guy was putting a screwdriver in there trying to get the car to turn over. If I get those keys back and it actually works this one, then I'll put this back in, which will be great, because the new tumbler with the keys on eBay is about $60. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. I'm gonna get that mirror off, get the passenger door key code off the lock, and then take the ECU out and ship it to that guy if I don't hear back from that locksmith. And if it's not more than a couple $100, maybe I'll let him do it. Okay, in the process of taking this door panel off, thought it was gonna be simple. This thing right here was giving me trouble, but there's 2 screws down in here. This thing just pries off pretty easily, the little cover piece here. That'll pry off pretty easily. Either a tiny screwdriver or get a plastic thing so you don't damage it. This one pries off from under here, and then you just disconnect the switches on the window switch. This little cover up here, you just grab it and pull it straight off. There's a little plastic one in here, a little Phillips head. And then behind this here, there's obviously this little tab here. You pry that open and there will be a Phillips head screwdriver. But the issue was when you try to pry this thing off, it's locked onto the bottom with 2 little tabs there. So if you get enough room when you're prying it, get some space in there and get a little pick tool and lift that tab up on the top, and then get your pry tool down and pop that tab on the bottom. I was prying on it pretty hard and it wouldn't come out. It's because those little tabs there snap into place on top of here. So that was the challenging part of it. Otherwise it's pretty straightforward. And then you get your pry tool and pop out the little locking tabs that go into the holes, and now this thing should just lift off. So let me do it with 2 hands. All right, got it off. So I'm trying to get the door lock out so that I can send it into the chip programmer so you can cut the keys. So I'm guessing you probably got to get behind here, look for the little door latch release thing, maybe even pry this little tab open and get that door lock out. All right, that was relatively simple to get that out. So all I did was pry off the little rubber grommet there. Then there's a Torx bit right there. On mine it was a T30. So you'll loosen that up. Then you'll reach your hand in here and grab the little rod that connects into the slot there. Just pull that out. And then literally this thing will just come out the front of the door here. You might have to move the orange rod a little bit to maneuver it, but then that'll just pop back in like so. So it'll just fish right out. So just 2 things to disconnect and then you'll have your key. And I could just give them the code here on the key, which says 1655, I believe, but I'm just going to send this in with the ECU so that they can test the key when they cut it, make sure it turns and stuff like that. So that's probably it for this video, because it's going to take a couple weeks probably to send that ECU in. which I still need to get out. So maybe I'll make another video of glove box removal and getting the ECU out. All right, ECU removal seems pretty easy. The glove box just sits in here, and you just kind of push in on the sides here to pop it out from behind the plastic. Same on the other side. Then it'll sit resting down here like so. And then there's just 2 Phillips screws there and there. And I'm going to disconnect the battery before I unplug all this stuff, but it seems like you just unplug these connectors. And then right up top there's a bracket that's holding it right there with like a 13mm it looks like. So I think that you just disconnect. And then hopefully this will just be able to slide out. I don't know if I'm gonna have to remove all this stuff, but it seems like once you get that off, it can kind of tilt and just slide out, so we'll see. All right, success. All I had to do was remove the front glove box. So there was 2 10mm screws holding the brackets. One was up top there, like I showed you earlier, right on that little tab, 10mm. And then you snap off this plastic kick panel here, and there will be another 10mm holding the lower bracket right to there. Once you get those off, you can kind of slide the bracket down, and I just undid the screws, the Phillips head screws at the top for this other bracket. Just used a little stubby Phillips screwdriver, and then I was able to just pull it down through the bottom. That way you don't have to pull it straight out and take all this other crap off. So yeah, cool. Got it out. I'm just going to take this top or the lower bracket off. Then I'm going to send the ECU with the passenger door lock, $99 on eBay, to a guy in Utah. Hopefully he can plug this in, get me 2 new keys made, then I can start the car when it gets back. So that'll be the next video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.